Yo, what's up, guys? So I have moved into college. It is 1 a.m. My roommates are asleep, so I'm trying to be quiet. I have this microphone right here. I'm trying my best. Um, okay. This is the second time, no, like the third time I tried to record this video. All right. So, new in the world of programming, the programming language Mojo is finally out. So, if you guys didn't already know, Mojo is a subset. I I don't know the right term. Um, but it is built on Python. Mojo is built on Python. And basically, what that means is it's like TypeScript, where TypeScript is basically JavaScript, just with more features, um, faster type. The most important thing being type safety for both TypeScript and Mojo. So, oh, also, I'm sick, so sorry if I sound a little weird. Um, but so Mojo was created uh, preferably for AI development, but I, as a Python developer, I think it's really cool to get into this, to start looking into this. Um, but so they have finally put it out. We could use it, and I wanted to basically go through writing a quick program, um, but not a dumb little hello world. I feel like that's too simple. What I always do for my first projects is I make sure there's user input, I make sure there are functions and if else statements and variables. That usually gets through everything in the new language that I'm trying to learn. So let's start with how we could get Mojo. So Mojo can't be downloaded yet on Windows. It's only for Linux, but you could get it on Windows using a using Windows subsystem for Linux. So WSL is basically you get Ubuntu on your terminal. You get an Ubuntu interface basically for your term, an Ubuntu subsystem that goes on Windows. It's actually completely backwards. I don't know why it's Windows subsystem for Linux, but it's really a Linux subsystem on Windows. Anyway, so you will have to download that. If you don't know how to download it, you guys should watch another video on how to download it because this video is for Mojo, not for WSL. Along with that, don't forget to download Python first because you can't do all this without Python. So we will also be needing VS Code. If you don't have that, I don't know how you're a developer. I'm kidding. I don't know. Ow. I smashed my teeth together. I don't know why I did that. Um, but no, I do understand some people are new to programming and don't have VS Code installed yet. But go ahead and do that. Um, and we will need the WSL extension and also the Mojo extension. Not this one, but this one. Um, so then, let's see what's next. Yeah, of course, WSL. I feel like that you should do first, though. But anyway, um, in the terminal, right, so first you are also going to have to create an account on Modular, um, which are basically the developers of Mojo. So to get uh, Mojo for yourself, everyone does have their own code right now. That's why I have this blurred out. So you will have to log in or create an account and then get your code basically, copy it, put it into your new Ubuntu terminal. Um, then after that, so I know some people are getting errors right here. It is a new language. It just rolled out not even 24 hours ago. Uh, Actually, it was just barely like 15 hours ago. Um, at least at the time of recording this video. But it is very new. It came out on the 7th. Um, so you might have some errors here. I haven't encountered this, so I don't know how to fix that. Um, if you get through this fine, then you're absolutely good. If you don't, I'm sorry. You have to do some digging. But modular install Mojo, this is where I personally got an error, and this is where I actually know how to fix it. So the error will tell you, um, yeah, that you can't find that it can't find libpython, right? So what you actually want to do is you want to download libpython, because that's a problem. You guys can run a command called get libpython, which is typed get libpython like that, and if libpython is installed, it will return to you the directory of libpython, and if it is installed, then you could skip this section. I'll go over it in a second. Um, if it's not installed, then it won't say anything. Like it won't even be a blank line. Like it'll dead ass just go like you put in the command and it'll look like you just did nothing. Like literally you won't get anything in return. Um, and that's how you know you don't have libpython. So if you don't have libpython, I would recommend running this. It worked for me, so might as well. But don't do 3.6. Do whichever version you have downloaded. For example, I have Python 3.11 downloaded on Ubuntu. So you would want to run sudo, or well, what I ran was sudo apt-get install libpython 3.11. And I'm leaving this out because I assume that's some extra developer stuff. And I don't know if you guys want that. So I would leave that out. If you guys are fine with that possibility, because again, I don't know um, completely what this command does, or rather, what this installation does. It is supposed to get you libpython, um, but I don't know what the difference that def does. Um, so I would leave that out. But up next, you will want to run this command. Um, you would want to run this command, and actually go ahead, pause, read all this. You do want to, uh, it wouldn't exactly be this. For example, for me, it's user lib x8464 Linux GNU, because that is the location of my libpython. Um, you guys could also search up some stuff on, actually, yeah, get Python, because all right, so I think some will be a little bit quieter, but so it's not. I was wrong. I just went on a long rant. Oops. It's not get libpython. It's find libpython. Um. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's this. You guys should have it automatically already on your. So if you run it, you should get something. If you don't get anything, then libpython does not exist. Sorry, I'm sick. So if you do or find libpython dash dash help or dash help. Um, there's a name for the dash, but I keep forgetting it. You will get all of these. If you do dash v, it will literally tell you where exactly it's looking, and it will tell you if it doesn't find anything at all. So that's how I basically found out that it didn't exist. I had to do -v, so like basically to make sure it doesn't find anything at all. And then yeah, of course I ran. Um, I don't know which recording it was. I hope this was the last recording. Sorry, because it takes a long time to process the videos before I could start recording again. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I don't think you have to have dev in there. I did it without dev. Sudo apt. I was this recording. Sudo apt-get install libpython 3.11, and then I would do find libpython -v. So you could also get the exact directory like this. You get that directory, use that for this first one, and then the second one, what the folder would you have installed? Yeah, so the first one should be this. I don't know if you're supposed to have this last part in there. It might be without this last part. I think it just ends at the because for me, for example, it's in the ooh, it is, give me a second, in this one right here. I believe that's where it'll put you guys as well. I might be wrong. That's why you guys should run the command. It put me right here, and then /libpython 3.11.so.1.0. And I just left this last part out, so I just did this for this first section, and then the second section set it to the thing is I have Python downloaded it onto my account rather than onto for everyone on my Ubuntu, on my WSL. Um, so this for me was where I basically had it earlier. Um, it does depend. Well, I'll just tell you guys, it does depend on where you downloaded Python, and then it should be that place that you downloaded Python in. Actually, yeah, I'll just show you guys, for example. For me, it is right here. This is the folder for where I downloaded Python, so that's where I would put this. If you run that command, it will get rid of can't find libpython. That's how you get rid of that on here, and now you can run modular install Mojo. Up next, type this in the terminal. So go into here, open up a terminal, and then run that, and it will open up a new window for you where you are running this in WSL instead of running this in Windows like normal. So I believe that is all to get started. But yes, before you start, you should do this. Run this command. See, I didn't do the whole echo and everything, because it was acting weird. I think you are supposed to copy this entire thing and put it into your Ubuntu terminal down here. I just ran it just like this because it wasn't working the first time because I still had that previous error. So once you do that, you can type Mojo in your terminal, and it will allow you to basically like a shell, but it's a REPL. I forgot. Read eval print loop. I say it's just a shell. I don't know. Um, but yeah, you can look at this right here. This is how you use a shell. Just so you guys don't get stuck in it, you do exit the shell by doing colon and then exit, or you guys could use this to help you guys out. Um, but now, actual programming in this. So for VS Code, you will have to give the path of where you downloaded Mojo to. So that's what I'm doing right here. Um, you don't have to do it in here. This is an accident. I didn't mean to do it like this. I actually did it in my settings. You could go look for modular home path in your settings and then put this, of course, wherever you guys downloaded Mojo onto. Um, and then we could start coding. Uh, I don't know. This is my way of keeping the microphone close to me because I know I am being quiet. So, kind of sounds louder and kind of sounds louder with these headphones. But anyway, so in Mojo, functions are defined like this. You could read the difference between FN functions and DEF functions in the documentation, um, but I'm not going to go through that. I believe FN functions are immutable, something like that. Um, you could read the documentation for that again if you want. Um, so a nice thing about Mojo is every program's entry point is going to be the main function, just like most other programming languages. If we don't do that, you guys will see we. Okay, cool. We're not getting an error. Let me uh, just do that. So I actually have this because I feel like this is being affected by this, which is just my. Um, let me just. Oh, oh, sorry. I've been learning Java, so I'm for university, so I am very used to double slashes. Um, okay, there we go. So I don't know why this is working, but if we run this, we could run this. Okay. Uh, the way we run this Mojo main.mojo. Are you kidding me? CD Mojo main.mojo. So yeah, you can see we need this to be inside of the entry point main, right? I believe that's how it is. Because if we try like, I'm just trying this to make sure. Yeah. So now if we run it like that, yeah, the hello world does work. So um, another thing that is really nice about this, I'm just gonna keep looking at this. So let's say welcome to, because we're new to Mojo now, right? Um, I'm gonna be copying a lot of code. Um, So, right, another thing we could do is we could obviously create variables. We could name them with var. The var keyword lets it be mutable, while lets it be immutable, but they should really change that soon because regularly let is seen as a way, in other languages, is seen as a way to allow for it to be immutable, while var is not necessarily mutable. Um, I hope they change that soon or do something about it because, yeah. But anyway, um, another thing is you could have, well, before you could have type in annotations. Uh, Now this isn't an annotation. This is actually telling the program that you want x to always be an integer. And that's the thing. The types in Mojo are different um, from in Python. And again, you could find that in the documentation. Uh, in built in, I believe. Yeah, here it is. Booleans, strings, integers. Yeah. So for example, yeah, integers like that. Capital I, Boolean is like that. A B, um, float literal instead of float. So that's how that works. Or there's also float 64 or something like that. You guys can look through the documentation yourselves. You guys don't need me for all that. Right. So I did mention I wanted to take user input. We have to import. Okay. From Python, these are things that are not built into Mojo, but that were built into Python. So from Python, import Python, and then let's import it as Py. Um, you could see what you could get from Python right here. Um, these are the things that you could do. This is the most important one. You could import a module. So we are going to run. Okay, the reason that I forgot the exact reason that this error shows up, but we do need to do try. Now let input. I'll explain it after I do all this. So py dot import module. The module name we want it to be uh, built-ins um, input. So built-ins is a library, as in what is built into Python, and we want input um, because the regular old that does not work anymore in Mojo, and I hated the GitHub. I looked at it. They said that is a feature. The fact that it's not there, or no, someone put it up as a bug, and they said it's. Oh, this isn't a bug. This is an improvement. Honestly, the lower level stuff. It could be the lower level stuff that I don't understand. Um, because I did forget to mention in the beginning of this recording. Um, Mojo is like 1,000 times faster than Python or something. I forgot the exact number, but it's way faster than Python. Um, so yeah, that works, right? So we want to store this inside of the keyword input. So like that, we're not typing all this out just to run the input function. We just store it in there. So now we want to do. Oh, the reason we want to do try is because it brings us an error about what if it can't find this module, which is dumb, but I mean whatever. So x is equal to um, input, and this is literally the way that we would have used it. This is basically the same way that we would have used it in Python. So this is going to work just as we expect it to work, except it's not going to give us a string. And that's a problem. It is going to give us a, let's see if they have, if they'll tell us. I don't think they'll tell us. Python, it comes out as a Python object. I'm not going to state it implicitly because I don't know. I don't want to state it implicitly in this context because I don't exactly know how the function works. If you guys knew how the function works completely, then you could probably do that. Uh, but I just in case, if we get something unexpected, I don't want this code to crash. Um, so now we could do. Actually, I take that back. It's Python object. I believe it returns to as a Python object. Uh, it is a Python object. I looked at this because you guys will see what I mean in a second. So next, and I have no idea why. Okay, what we want to do is, again, it's still a work in progress. It should work. It's supposed to work. It, it should work in theory, right? And if we put in x, um, sorry, for right. Okay, I'm not getting the right syntax highlighting, so I'm just going to try to run the code. Um, let's just do save it like that. Try to run it. Okay. Oh, okay. Failed to parse provided. Okay. Let's run it like this. Right. Not right. Hold up. Except print it. Okay. Okay. I really want to show you guys the exact error. This is what it is. Expected two arguments, but one was specified. So the reason for that, and I don't like this, but the reason for that is because it needs self, meaning that it has to be an instance. We can't call this straight off the class. So annoying, absolutely annoying, but we have to do create a new variable like um uh no. I I don't know what to call it. I for instance that literally that's actually what it is. Actually I want to see what I called it over here. No, we'll just call it I. And now if we run it, it runs fine. Now it runs fine. It will give us all these warnings, um, but they're just regular warnings that you don't always like. Yeah, it was declared. I'm gonna use it later. Calm down. Um, but there is. So now we have Y, which is an actual. Here's the thing, though. What is the type of this? No, it is still not a string. It is actually a string literal. Or sorry, no, a string reference. Why? No idea. Like these are actual problems that I don't like about the programming language currently. So let's create a new function. Because again, I said functions are important too. Decide. Let's call it decide because why not? Um, Now this I like. So by default, C is not going to be mutable. What we could do is we could do um, an out, which will make C mutable. If we do C is C plus equals 1 in here in the function, then it will actually add 1 to C out here. If we use, yeah, I, I actually don't understand it now that I think about it. Anyway, you guys can look at the documentation. It's something like it's something like that. Um, Let me look at it because there is another keyword. Yeah, so borrowed. Um, yeah, it cannot modify them. Um, in out means that changes to the argument inside. Yeah, so I was right. Yeah, if you add 1 to it, it will be added. Um, it will be added to. Wait, so does A print A? Oh yeah, it affects it out here too, right? And but if we don't want to do that, we do borrowed. I believe C plus plus. It's kind of like C plus plus pointers, from what I understand, which is really nice. I really do like that. Um, so we will get a string literal C, um, and we will return. If you guys don't know type hints, they're basically using type hints the same way to when you're explicitly, or sorry, implicit, explicit. I don't know. When you actually, so yes, this specifies that it is just a Python object. It's the same way as type hints in regular Python. But so we want to return, oh, none. So if C is equal to yes, and I am now going to copy this code because I don't want to type it again. Um, so if yes, Mojo is new, I'm just explaining it. And if no, I'll give my opinion. Otherwise, I'll say something random, right? So now we could do decide and toss in y, which is this right here. And now if we save this and run it, let's see, fail to parse y. Oh, I named it string literal. I keep getting literals and references confused. But let's run it again. And those are just warnings. If we type no, it works. If we type yes, it works. If we type something different, it works. Now, this is what I love about the program, about the language as well. Now we can do Mojo build main.mojo. And that will literally build it into an actual, is a binary or an executable? I need to do the right terminology, so I'm gonna go look at the, yeah, a binary. So now we could run the actual main binary. This is another problem, and I believe this is actually a problem straight up with the actual language that they are going to be addressing later, because there is still an issue of it on their GitHub. So this is what I did. I had to actually look for where libpython is at, because it's asking for libpython again. Sorry, this is laggy because of the recording. Um, let's run it. So you literally have to set Mojo Python library set to the actual libpython, which is so annoying. So annoying. But now I think we have to build it again. You could tell I did not test this many times before. Shit. Let's run it like that. And there you go. There you go. I don't know why. Uh, it works. It works. And it works. So there you go. Really, really buggy. With having to do this before you could even bundle the code. Before you bundle the code and before you run the code, or before you run a binary resulting from the code. Annoying. Uh, annoying how input isn't built in. Annoying how you need an actual instance of Python before you could use the string attribute to convert something into a string. And even that it's just a string well, no, actually I think it is important to keep it as a string reference. But all of this, actually, no, this is only wrong because Mojo should have input built in. Now I'm going on a rant. I like this. This is nice. This is nice. The type safety is nice, but the biggest problem I think, or a big problem, not the biggest. It's just a big problem that we don't have input. That's a problem, and the fact that you have to go through all of this just to get input. You have to get input through Python, which is really annoying. That's my only problem with the language. Yes, I am absolutely going to build something badass with this. Um, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Sorry for such a long Mojo tutorial, but there it is. Um, I'm gonna go to sleep now because I am tired and it is 2 a.m. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.